Hey everybody, this is John Carter. I'm with From the Vine, and this is a podcast produced by New Vine Records, and I'm here today with Who is Fish, our co-host. Hey Sam, how you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, we had a cool new intro that you just whipped up here over the weekend, a drum track, which is pretty amazing.
Thanks.
And we have a special podcast here because Sam is usually our co-host, and we've had a lot of artists come through, and we've learned about a lot of unique stories. But today we're going to have Sam Fishman and his journey. And one of the things, you can pull up his website, you'll see right on the top, it says, "A hero's journey never stops." And for those of you who don't know what a hero's journey is, we're going to talk about that later and how it pertains to music. But, today we have Sam Fishman, a new drummer producer in the scene here in Ithaca, New York. And Sam moved out to the Finger Lakes region about 2 years ago, bringing fresh perspective and artistry. Welcome, Sam.
Thanks for that intro.
Yeah.
It's this is kind of cool because we've been co-hosting, and now I'm the guest now.
You are the guest.
I'm in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Center stage is Sam tonight, and we're going to talk about a lot of things in your career. And I just, let's start off like first things first. Your formative years as a musician. So let's just zip back in time.
Yes.
And we're going to go back to little Sam.
Oh my God.
When he started out. So tell us about that.
Yeah. We covered a bit of this, I believe, on the first episode that we did.
We did. Mm-hmm.
Growing up, when I was like 3 years old, I was hitting pots and pans, and the babysitter was hiding the spoons from me because it was a racket and it was annoying.
Yeah.
Did that, sat on a family friend's drum set when I was very young. That was like my first experience with holding drumsticks, and playing on a drum set, and that really stuck with me. My dad wanted me to learn piano. Didn't work out, and I went to drums, and just.
So it wasn't the first thing you thought of, but all of a sudden it just clicked. I just want to do the drums.
Yeah, and I always had an internal sense of rhythm, and I'd hit the table. And with my grandpa was a drummer.
Oh really?
Actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, music runs in your family, right?
Yeah,
not just your grandpa, but your dad.
My dad also composer, piano player, musician, vocal coach as well, music director. So I get all of that from my dad for sure. Yeah.
Well, you're one of the most creative people I've ever met, and I think there's more to this one than just drums, more than meets the eye. And I put in producer in there. So that kind of comes from your dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And your mom.
Not as much. My mom she appreciates music, but does not play an instrument.
Okay.
Not really a studied musician. Just enjoys it.
But producing, it's like you get ideas. It's not just drums. You have a lot of ideas creatively in music, and we're going to get into some other stuff that's even beyond some of the music.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my dad was a guitar player, and my whole basement was comprised of vinyl, and he was in the radio business. So that's awesome that's passed on to you. It kind of stuck on me too. And he had an old Silvertone amp, and he had a Gibson guitar, and I was downstairs playing on that guitar all the time, and that's how I started. So I guess I share a little bit of that with you.
Yeah.
So talk about this hero's journey thing.
The hero's journey.
Yeah. How does this combine with music in your mind?
Yeah, the hero's journey. So Joseph Campbell is a incredible philosopher and academic and professor, and he was really into mythology and the hero's journey, this idea that you are constantly meeting different people, having adventures. The idea is that there's a lot of mythology involved with it, and certain universal tropes and characters, and then there's a fantasy element to it. So you could be in an underwater kingdom or a kingdom above the clouds, and you just run into these strange characters that aid you, and you have to be aware of the signs and take the advice from them. That and it's crazy. It's actually The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
the video game is a great illustration of the hero's journey.
It's a great example of that played out. With Link, right?
Right, exactly.
So George Lucas kind of played into this, right? With his entire epilogue of the Skywalker saga. I saw a documentary. It's one of my favorite documentaries. It came out in 2011, and it talks about this Joseph Campbell kind of influence.
Cool.
and how he kind of implemented that and how he pulled from all different kinds of like religious stories and fantasy stories and backgrounds. And the word is myth, right? Mm-hmm. So you see yourself, Sam Fishman, as a hero in the journey of music.
Well, yeah, we're all, and the idea is that we're all heroes of our, or heroines, right? Of our own journeys. Mm-hmm. And just tapping into it is very difficult, I find, because a big part of the hero's journey is the struggle. Mm-hmm. You're struggling, right? You're going,
because he's not a hero at first.
Right.
That's the idea.
But I think the idea of the hero is that he accepts the struggling, mm-hmm. right? You're accepting that struggle.
Right.
So relating it back to music, mm-hmm. this idea that like you find your way in the music world, mm-hmm. and it's not easy. It's anything but, and that's part of the contract, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's not allowed to be easy.
No.
It has to be difficult in order for it to be a hero's journey.
Well, some people have said if it was easy, Walmart would be doing it. And I say that's true about music. It's like the hero's journey. That's a great way to look at this journey because, mm-hmm. and I say the struggle is monumental, which is something we want to help artists feel good about.
Right.
And this is a very positive way to look at it. And this struggle is a Leviathan.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I do hope that some of the stories that I'm going to be sharing mm-hmm. will provide some sort of, encouragement and some hope that like, even when things are really difficult in this industry, that like, it's okay to bounce around to different projects. It's okay to try new things. It's okay mm-hmm. to go against what other people are doing. You're especially I think in music, but even in other business as well. You're carving your own way. You hear a lot about like this new business is disrupting $1 billion industry, right? You see those advertisements and stuff,
right.
But yeah, people are always looking for new ways to chart
those advertisements generally bring me into a black hole of YouTube that I probably shouldn't go to. Yeah. But, let's just kind of fast forward a few years on this journey and talk about that first break. Because you did all the work. you got your drums down. You're really a practiced musician at this point.
Yeah.
And there's a band that somehow you end up in. And this is really what we want to share because it's a crazy story.
It's a crazy
Every time I
story.
hear it, and every time you tell other people, their mouths are just hanging open like, what?
Yeah.
But it's we're going to say this one time, but the band's name...
One time, that's it.
One time.
Just one time.
is Madison Rising.
That's it. That's all you're getting.
You're never going to hear it again.
It'll now be referred to as the band.
Not MR.
Or MR, maybe.
Okay.
But the band.
MR. Okay. So we're going to call it the band.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and not only that, this band, according to themselves, was called the world's most patriotic rock band.
America's most patriotic.
Oh, I didn't put that in my notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
So tell us about the band. Tell us what happened.
I chuckle because it's such a crazy story and it's easy to assume a lot of things about me if you look at this band.
Uh-huh.
I'll just put it out there. This band leans conservative.
Okay.
Politically.
Sure.
And now back in 2013, well, really it was 2011 when I joined. And it was through Craigslist, believe it or not.
You're kidding me.
It was through Craigslist.
See, that's why you hit those Facebook ads, because it landed you in America's most patriotic rock band.
And we didn't even have a name at the time when I joined.
Really?
It was just a band that was going after a conservative political market.
That's so interesting.
And that's something I really want to stress to the listeners here is that this was a calculated business model.
This band.
Okay. This was not me and a bunch of my dude friends or
in a garage.
Any friends in a garage. Yeah, we love to make music together. This was not that. This was a calculated business plan by an entrepreneur. And he said, I see this market. Mm-hmm. Country music, right? It resonates with this market.
Right.
And other people like country music too, but generally there was that country music kind of had a thing with that demographic.
It's a huge market.
Yeah, it's a big market.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, all right, well, let's give them rock music and put the messages that they will enjoy into this music, and we're going to make money.
Wow.
That was the plan. So I stress that because I've come into some situations where people, like they look at me like how could you be in that band? And it's like, well, to put it in perspective, I was like 22 years old, and I had a chance to make a regular salary being a drummer.
Well, tell me, what was your salary?
So we were getting, and I'll tell you now because it's fine, but so I was getting $3,000 a month.
Wow.
To be in this band, regardless of how many shows we had.
Now, I'm going to say just about any musician out there is going to jump.
I mean, it's as a young musician
to play. To play and get paid. That's pretty unique.
Yeah. It was very unique corporate structure for sure.
But you're like, this hero on this journey does not necessarily agree with the views shared by the person putting out this band.
Right.
But you still did it.
Well, it was
a job.
It was a balancing act. Like I was also a bit naive. I still don't have necessarily strong like convictions about these political things. It's kind of a mess. But when this band came around, and I felt, okay, my grandfather was a Marine. He fought at the Battle of Iwo Jima, and that I felt like it was part of my family history that I could
So there were some resonating things.
Yes,
going on.
yeah,
Okay.
and when I found out we'd be working with a lot of veterans and helping a lot of people with PTSD
and getting paid,
getting to I didn't know at the time, but we ended up opening for Leonard Skinner. We ended up opening for Aerosmith.
Dang.
We ended up opening for Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah, and Sugar Ray one time.
Gosh, man.
It was a great opportunity, and we helped a lot of people through our music.
So yeah, I mean, how old were you at this time?
So when I joined, I was like 22.
You were 22, 23. Yeah. So I'm gonna title this chapter of the band and you and as the hero, as the good.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be the good, and there's gonna be the bad.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be the ugly.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna get to. So the good, you mentioned the veterans. You've had some experiences playing, and tell us about some of the good of those experiences that really touched you.
The band provided a voice for a lot of people that felt that they were not being listened to.
Okay.
A lot of veterans who were struggling every day. A lot of veterans committing suicide. Families who lost husbands and wives and children to war.
Right.
All fighting for America, right? So that did resonate with me because that's such a sacrifice to make. And so I had a couple. This was something that happened a few times where fans would come up to me and say, because I heard your rock version of the Star Spangled Banner, I decided not to take my life.
For real. Wow.
And that's powerful. So regardless of your politics, that was powerful.
How did that make you feel?
It was hard to process,
So this was after the show, you're down off the stage, you're walking around, and some guy somebody walks up to you and
there was such a passion. And see, that's what was so brilliant about the business plan of it all was that this guy, this entrepreneur, he knew that there was a void in the conservative market for music where people felt like they had
there was a powder
voice.
Keg of this energy.
Yes. And
he hit diamonds.
Yeah, we did well.
He was diamond mining, and he found the diamonds.
We did well for, I'd say, 3 to 4 years. The band was really kicking. We opened up for Chris Cornell at one point.
That's amazing.
It feels like a dream almost. It was really crazy.
So, who can argue with that? I have to say, I get upset with people sometimes when I hear them immediately, dismiss a veteran or veterans because they're taking part in something, killing people, whatever, for the cause of America. Yeah, whatever.
Not necessarily whatever, but it's tough. It's a tough concept to get behind.
It's hard, and I get that. But these people's lives were affected greatly. These families' lives lost a lot, and so there's definitely a heart that I have for anybody that's paid a price at that level of sacrifice. And I think we should, that has nothing to do with politics.
Right. Exactly.
In my opinion.
And that's what's cool about the music is the music, it spoke to them.
Right.
And that's why it felt really good to be a part of that project was we were helping a lot of people. We were helping them to feel better about where they were and to help cope with what was going on. It was
what
very
a cool
powerful
thing. What a cool thing. So, that's the good.
That's the good.
That's the good. So let's talk about the bad.
Yeah.
A little bit. And when we talk about the bad, I think it's good to reflect comprehensively on any history of any kind of experience to kind of draw back to the good. But let's talk about the bad a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, there's definitely some dynamics within the band that were sketchy.
Sketchy.
It was corporate structure, so we pretty much were at the whim of this entrepreneur guy, and he would, give the orders like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And you did it. There was no...
It was his.
It was his thing.
Yeah, this was not a band-owned entity.
And that's something...
And there were contracts.
Yes.
So you had to do...
So it's very, especially for like Ithaca area, like I couldn't imagine, I don't know of any bands that are set up this way here. Like it's such an anomaly. It's such usually it's bands because usually people want to play music together. So they play music together.
Well, what we do here in Ithaca is something we call art.
Yeah. Right. No. And
it's
this
art. It's passionate art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was way more corporate. So,
right.
The dynamics were not great, because we were not friends beforehand and because it was just us carrying out a job. So there was some bullying going on. There was manipulation happening. Everybody thought they knew what was best. And there was not a lot of listening happening between band members. It was just like, get in, do the job. We had some fun along the way here and there, but everybody had a different idea of what this band was. So are we allowed to smoke pot? Because back in 2014, like it was still illegal in a lot of places.
Illegal, and a lot of people who are veterans are tied into police community.
Right.
Which I'm friends with a lot of police, and it's still a sore subject for them to recognize that it's legal.
Yeah.
They get really kind of miffed about that, so I can see how that can be something in that realm. And so you couldn't you had to wear a persona.
Yeah.
A bit.
Definitely.
In a sense.
There was a persona there.
Okay.
We had to do the jeans and the black t-shirt kind of vibe and
interesting. So
yeah.
when was there any ego stuff? Was it internally? Was it like, you guys are playing, well, you did a YouTube video of, the name of the song, We Will Not.
Well, we can, so it's Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, Star Spangled Banner.
It's a rock version of the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, we weren't naming the band, so I just didn't know. Okay, so,
but it's cool because it's got almost 10 million views on YouTube.
It's really taken off.
Yeah,
and this was kind of the catalyst that launched you guys into these events. And you played at some big places, not just big names that you opened up for, but you played in some bigger places.
Yeah, we did Sturgis, which is a huge motorcycle rally. We did, actually, it might be the world's largest. It was pretty nuts.
Wow.
There's a cool story from that, actually.
Okay.
I was playing the drums during the final song, and we hit the final note, and we're just going nuts, right? Crazy. And the motorcycles, there's like
I was just wondering about that.
Motorcycles.
I was just wondering.
It's a big campground, Buffalo Chip, and they're revving their engines. That's what they do. They rev their engines when they love something. Oh. They're revving their engines so loudly. I'm hitting the drums. I'm not hearing the drums.
Oh my!
Could not. And I'm right on the drums. I'm slamming the hell out of them. I'm not hearing drums.
That's a lot of 60 to 200 hertz. Baby.
Yeah,
I was just screaming.
It was
Dave
surreal.
The engineer.
It was surreal. All I heard was motorcycles,
That's
and
incredible.
I'm still playing. Like,
and you were feeling it too, right?
Yeah,
you're feeling that sound.
We did Dallas Cowboys Stadium. That was really wild.
Wow.
We did a couple of RFK Stadium, which I don't know if it's still up, but
oh, you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just to give you a sense.
Okay.
So we were definitely in demand for a good 3 to 4 years.
The ego thing was there.
Oh yeah.
The ego thing started to develop, and we don't have to pick on people, but when was it that you just had as you're sitting in your drums or driving or in the van or wherever you guys are holing up in between shows, when did it dawn upon you that there was bad happening, that maybe you couldn't go along for the ride anymore? When was that?
The real kicker.
So the Leviathan rears its ugly head to the hero. Oh, by the way, I'm still here. There's still a struggle. So what happened?
There were there were moments along the way for sure where like it put me in fight or flight. You know?
Okay, like red flags?
Yeah, just like
little things,
some bullying or like, the singer just kind of letting off steam, but like taking it out on band members.
Okay.
The entrepreneur guy getting really just losing there was very bad regulation of emotions. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But there was a moment when I realized I could not do this band anymore.
Okay.
And that was when we got new management and they decided that we should start supporting Trump.
Wait. New management.
New management.
So something steps in.
Yeah, someone steps in and says, we got to go with Trump in 2016. And when that happened,
that was over.
I started to get a really kind of like, this is not what I signed up for.
You were sweating.
Yeah, just not what I signed up for. Yeah. I signed up to be in a family-friendly band that, yes, we leaned conservative because we were going after that market. Again, this was calculated. This is not me saying I have to fully support all of this shit.
Sure.
It was just... So the Trump thing really was like, I need to really like not be with this anymore.
That was like a breach of your conscience.
It was hard. It was like a you're in a dysfunctional relationship. Yeah, it was a breach of that. It was like, I don't feel good about this anymore.
Good.
So, unfortunately things changed. So I got out.
So how far along in the life of the band was that?
So we started in 2011. 2016 is when I realized I needed to get out, but it actually took me 2 years to get out.
That's really hard.
Yeah, it's hard
That's
to step
5
away.
years of
so
a
much
lot
time.
of playing, a lot of connecting.
Yeah.
This is kind of a family thing, family in a sense to the band, even like you have friends, right?
Yeah, I mean, you feel, like you've invested so much.
Yeah.
And
what do they call it when you invest in something so much and you just can't get out of it? There's some psychological...
Diminishing returns, maybe?
Yeah, there's some kind of psychological term for it where people will never leave something because of all the work they put in. But they should leave it,
Right. Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Heady stuff, man. For those listening, is really like, it's a listening podcast, for sure.
So did you get depressed about that?
Yeah.
You did.
So I left the band in 2018, and it's good I could be vulnerable here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But I was a real mess. It feels good to talk about it too, because like I've had time to heal from it and process it. 2018, it took me a good 3 years to
processing.
Yeah, to be like
grieving.
What just happened?
Right.
What just happened?
Okay.
And I had like people cancel, like in the dating scene, I had a lot of women cancel dates on me.
Oh my gosh.
Because they looked up the band and they saw that it was like a conservative leaning band. That felt really. It felt kind of, it was a different level of rejection. It was not rejection of me. It was a rejection of like, just all these assumptions were made. It's like, you didn't even, take the chance.
It's like you don't know me.
Yeah. It's funny how we do that. We kind of put people in boxes.
Yeah. So the ugly, the good, the bad, and now the ugly, was there nastiness on the breakup? Was it ugly?
So there was actually the moment that I decided to leave.
Okay.
I was smoking some pot inside the RV, and the singer lost his mind. He's like, "How dare you!" Like he got in my face in front of 15 fans that were hanging out with us as an after party.
Wow.
And he just got in my face, and he's like, "How dare you smoke pot in the RV? Like, who do you think you are?"
Wow.
Meanwhile, the RV was
I'm
under
Sam, and I'm smoking pot.
Yeah, I mean, come on, and that was the weird thing. It's like you'd think in a band. You could smoke weed, but he was not having it, got in my face about it. And it was that moment I said, I don't need to take any of this shit anymore.
Really?
So that was the last straw.
That was it?
Yeah.
End of the band.
It was ugly though.
So you leave the band.
Yeah.
You're kind of wounded.
Yeah.
What did you fall back to at that moment? Where did you go?
This is great questions,
by
the way. So at that moment, I took some time off and I just did a lot of hiking, did some writing, played a couple video games, but I knew I needed to do something else to create distance from myself in that experience.
A distraction.
So I joined Kidville, and I just felt like maybe I need to work with kids. So I joined a band that played music for kids, and we had puppets, and it was like a mommy and me kind of thing. But super fun, and that felt good to be using my talents. And here I am playing to stadiums, right, for a couple of years, and now I'm playing for a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
part of the hero's journey.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the hero's journey. There's always that moment where there's that retreat, and this is Luke Skywalker's moment on Dagobah. With
I love how it comes back to Star Wars.
Right. I always come. Look, I got Star Wars toys everywhere here. Everybody knows this, but it's like, yeah, he's on Dagobah and he's just basically gotten his ass kicked, kind of, and he's learning how to do the Force thing and get spiritual and overcome his fear. And and he meets Yoda and he kind of gets a new direction. So, were you kind of in that place where? Yeah. You're finding that new direction.
So Kidville really helped.
Kidville.
And then another part of that new direction was working at a summer camp. So I ended up working at a Jewish summer camp. And that really also kind of helped with the healing process. Just being around like people that
weren't driven by contracts and thousands of people in an audience. And I kind of understand that. I've recently kind of gone through a major life change and I have a space in my life where I just work on a house, and it's really good for me. I've been sitting in a studio for the last 10 years, and for the first time, I have color in my skin, and I'm kind of getting a little bigger, because I'm using my body, and I just realized like I needed to reset. Mm-hmm. I really needed to reset. I was getting toxic. And I was losing myself, so much so that my mom, who who's known me forever, and I call her, probably once or twice a week. Yeah. She said, I feel like I'm getting my son back. I like the anger thing is kind of dissipating. So I get that. I get that reset thing in the journey. So, but you know what? I think let's kind of shift gears. A little bit.
That was a great overview. A nice summary of it.
Good. Yeah. Good. I think that's an amazing thing, and I hope anybody out there who's watching or listening to this as an artist knows that you're on this journey as well. It might not be the same thing that Sam went through or I've been going through, but it's funny how they kind of all match up. It is a weird chapter by chapter.
That's where the Joseph Campbell stuff comes in.
It's like, holy cow.
There's that mythology that if you look for it, you can find universalities within all of it.
That's why I think story is such a powerful thing for us as human beings, because there's something deep down inside of us that's like, I get that. I don't know why, but I get that, know? So anyway, shifting gears, we want to play a song. And this is End of Time. And it's off, this is off the album End of Time.
Right. Voices Emerge, I think, is the one that we've got queued up.
Right. Voices Emerge is the song on this album End of Time. And we're going to talk about how this is the transition that you felt like you wanted to spread your wings creatively. So let's go ahead and play that.
Yeah.
So, wow, there's a lot going on in that track, Sam. Holy cow.
And that was just a little snippet towards the end of the tune.
I'm just getting chills. Cool. And look, they're genuine. I'm not lying, everybody. I got chills from that. Music really does that to me, Cool. So this was the moment you're spreading your wings creatively. Tell us how and why, when did that hit?
So
this was a milestone moment.
This was big. As I was leaving the band, and I realized that I needed to do something creatively and put something out from coming from me, because I felt very stifled creatively in that group. So End of Time, it was just kind of born out of those toxic situations that I was in, and I needed an outlet for it, which music's just a great way to do it. So well,
I talk to a lot of people that are in music, obviously, because we're in it, and I feel that it's important from a psychologically healthy place that we're doing something for ourselves. creatively. If it's always the contract, if it's always the expectation, it's so easy to drown in those things and lose the DNA that's built in as an artist. And I think every person has that thing, even if it's not music. And to return back to that, it's just honesty about who you are as an artist. And I think if you don't do that, if you don't have that release, you will get toxic. You're not going to be an honest artist anymore. Yeah. People have even, gotten sick because they've turned inward so much and they've denied this part of themselves. In Japan, there's this thing called karoshi, where they die from work. Did you know that? They call it that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's actually a phenomenon that's been happening. And I think they passed laws because people were working so much that they forced people to start taking vacations and go find themselves because they were just dying literally on the desk, just dying on the job.
Jeez.
Yeah, so, I think that you had your karoshi thing and, and it's like this beautiful thing comes out.
Yeah.
And it is. It's awesome.
It's a meditation for sure.
Yeah.
With some heaviness to it.
Yeah. So everybody, you can check that out. It's out there, right?
Yeah. End of Time. It's on the whoisfish.com. You can check it out. And that was just fun collaboration. I found Architect music.
What are those voices in there?
Yeah. So that was Christine, and she lent her vocal talents for the operatic stuff. There's this whole orchestration happening. Now the orchestration is actually programmed.
Okay.
It was not live musicians.
It sounded really good.
Old college buddy. Not really a buddy, but like someone I was friendly with.
Okay.
And Brandon Campbell, who is fantastic. He works for Hans Zimmer's studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he's just
a little talented.
Doing amazing stuff. So I was just like getting resourceful. Like, who do I know that could give me an orchestral thing? Oh, Brandon could do it. Like, I went to him. I actually went out to LA and met up with him and we talked about it. He got it done. Great musicians, Kurt Wobenhurst, Shane Stanton was mixing it. It was just like it was a nice collective of people that I found to collaborate with.
That's a common theme I see in you. You like to pull people together.
I like collaborating.
To do projects, and that's that producer side. It's not just the musician. It gets real lonely in music. You don't want to do it by yourself,
Yeah, I'm not into the
people get a little weird when they hole up in a studio for 10 years. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Let's just lighten it up. We've got something that we do here.
Oh no.
At From the Vine. It's called Strange Candy.
Oh, it's time.
It's time.
All right. What do we got, John?
Okay, so this podcast episode, we did one last, or one of the ones.
One of the ones.
Yeah, we're not naming episodes anymore.
Nah.
We keep flipping things around. This one is called Nerds Gummy Clusters.
Gummy clusters.
And I'm going to pour them on the table.
Oh my God, what is that shit?
This is like, I know nerds because, when I played Little League and we won, they bought us nerds. Like
you got to hold it up to the cameras here.
Look. Wait, here's the thing. What did you say this looked like? Nerd. You said this looked like unicorn poop. And I'm going to have to say, I
hope this table's clean.
Yeah, it's clean. We washed it.
You want to do the
thing?
thing?
I'm going to try it. Ready? It's a candy ASMR with gummy clusters. Oh, man. Oh, that's sour.
Crunchy.
Unicorn poop never tasted so good.
Okay.
Hey, we got a video guy. Pat, you want? Come here. Pat, come on camera. What, you afraid to shit? Pat has great arms, by the way, and I think he's being modest. Right. You know what's great about gummy clusters?
No.
Is you can throw them at Pat.
No.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy now.
And this segment of Strange Candy has been brought to you by, I don't know.
New Vine React.
The band.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was pretty good. Those gummy clusters. Not too bad. Oh, wait, hold on.
You can only have one. Wait, what's on the back there?
This is terrible.
Just one gummy cluster.
Well, okay.
Cluster. It has enough energy to power a city.
So if you eat this entire bag,
you will die.
It's not going to be good for you. You're going to have 118% of your sugar intake.
Wait, that's more than 100.
Yeah, it's bad.
What happens when you go past 100? You want to find out? No. Okay. In the extended version of this podcast, we're going to go past 100% of our sugar intake and see what happens. You can check it out. Yeah. So that was Strange Candy, everybody. Thank you. Okay. Hey, so you did jazz.
I did.
You did jazz.
I did the jazz.
When I hear that word jazz, I never know quite what to think of it. I seldom use the word because I'm pretty sure it's never right. So technically, in your mind, what is jazz?
Jazz is so many things. It's funk. It's R&B. It's swing. It's
how do you define that?
Jazz is a lot of improvisation usually.
Okay.
Big band.
Yep.
There's so many different pieces of jazz.
And you did something with your dad. Or have you played something?
I've played some stuff with my dad, but this recording, we're gonna take a little snippet in just a bit. It's called Superhero. This was a thing I did with Misha Piatigorsky, one of the top jazz piano players in New York City. Really, really incredible player. And I had known him through my synagogue, and I just said, we got to do something together.
And this is off an album?
This is Stained Glass.
Stained Glass Technicolor Grooves.
Yeah, that's it. And
that's cool.
Really an incredible record. I love being versatile. I love being able to play jazz and then play like heavy rock music.
Okay.
Just all of it. It's just different parts of me that come out. That's
awesome. So if jazz was a candy, what kind of candy would it be?
Oh my God, great question. I don't think it would be the gummy clusters.
No, okay.
If jazz were a candy, it might be Starburst.
Starburst.
Yeah.
Oh wow. The consistency.
You bite into it and it's just like juicy. It's just great.
Okay. Well, let's play Superhero. Yeah. And here we go. Let's have a listen. Holy crap.
Woo!
This is I love this kind of music because I love how the bass, and the other instruments were basically keeping the beat. They were the drums.
Yeah.
And you were the solo instrumentalist or improv person. And that's such a flexible genre for that reason.
It's super flexible.
Yeah.
I really enjoy having that ostinato pattern and then just being able to like solo over it, and you're bending in and out of the repeated phrase that the bassist and keyboard player are playing.
It's super catchy, super fun to listen to. And the thing I loved about it, was that a live recording?
Live recording.
Okay. The drum production is super cool because I can hear the whole kit. And I love that.
That was Joseph Bransifort, who actually won a Grammy. He he engineered the Chick Corea record, Mirror Mirror.
Awesome.
I believe it's called. Yeah.
Awesome. So I mean, just the high mid range, just it doesn't hurt, but it's so present, and I love that. That's a neat trick that people do. And so, where did you record that?
So that was at my synagogue. I held the first annual...
Did you tell me that already?
I might have.
Oh, damn.
But it's the first annual Jazz at the Glen Rock Jewish Center.
Okay.
And that's actually, that's a great tie-in to the episode we did with Harry Nichols. Remember, his advice was create your own venues. And that's what I did. I went to the Glen Rock Jewish Center and I said, I'm just going to put on a concert here. And it had a kind of a built-in audience. We had like 180 people show up.
Wow.
And it was, this recording really... It really just
special,
magical, and
special, and culturally tying into your life. Which again, let's kind of reflect on the hero's journey.
Yeah,
there are friends of the hero.
Yeah,
right. I think family, friends, type friends, the support system of the hero.
That's big.
Yeah, the hero isn't alone. The hero finds lifelong companions. Yeah. And I think in our musical journeys, don't we need those people?
Oh my God, you're telling me.
We super need those people.
Yeah, and that's a great message to put out to the community is like, don't isolate yourself. Make sure that you find those people that can...
Do you think music is isolating?
Nowadays, I think it is more than ever. Actually, that's not true. Maybe it can be at any time period because, you look at Beethoven, right? And any of those great composers, they just sat in a room and compose.
Yeah.
It'd be very isolating doing that.
Yeah. And it's just not healthy. You know, I don't even think it helps your creativity.
I don't know.
You can get stuck.
Those guys were pretty creative.
You can get stuck in it. I think you can get stuck in an echo chamber. I think you can, just kind of get stopped up. But I don't know. For me,
you got to know yourself, right?
I need people around me to help become creative. I'm actually inspired. I'm not really super creative until I'm inspired by other people's creativity, and then I'm super creative. But and then we have Emergence.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of cool. Like again, maybe this is not for everyone, but like
this is probably my favorite track.
I like jumping around.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like jumping around to different genres and like some hard rock stuff, some jazz, some like spoken word. I think it's great to try different stuff out, try different genres. Don't limit yourself to just like one genre. But if you want to,
flexibility,
fine, then do that. It depends what you're into. So yeah, this is Emergence is. I was telling you about this before, right?
Yeah.
This is part of a Cicada Madness rock opera, and
wait, say that again.
It's called Cicada Madness.
Cicadas, for everybody that doesn't know, they are these crazy bugs that come out every 7 years.
17.
Oh my God!
Every 17.
17
some
years.
13. Some 13.
They live under the ground. Right. They kind of offset each other's patterns, and they're in giant hives of bugs that live underground. Huge, and then they come out every 17 years apparently.
Yeah.
And they're ugly.
They're ugly.
They're terrifying.
They make sounds.
Why did you pick a cicada to do this?
So
what about cicadas inspires you?
Yeah, right. There's a way to face my fears, really.
Okay.
When I was very young, I had a run-in with a cicada, and it flew right into my face. It scared me, so it's traumatic.
A run-in.
Yeah.
It was a hit and run.
Yeah.
I like it, right?
And I'll never forget that. So I've been really afraid of them, and I figured, well,
Jeez.
How about I do something creative with that? Because I think the same place where fear comes from, creativity comes from.
Okay.
So I just did a rock opera, like it's a B movie style kind of thing with like, sorority girls going to a log cabin, but will they get there in one piece?
Because the cicadas
are coming. And then there's frat boys, there's cowboys, there's rednecks. All the the really like simplified stereotypes and tropes are in it, because that's kind of the B movie vibe.
Okay, so you kind of modeled this after the B movie thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned like Sharknado or Tremors, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Okay. So this song Emergence is part of this Cicada Madness audio B movie thing.
Okay.
And the cicadas are angry with the humans for destroying the planet. And so they're singing like, we're going to burn all of you. And you had your chance to like treat this planet with respect, but you have not. So,
Sam, I love end of the world movies. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of an aficionado of end of the world movies. I really, really are into them. And I've never heard anybody come up with the idea that the cicadas are going to end us all. And I think that's really freaking amazing.
They thank you. They mutate and they get giant.
And they look like they should be the ones ending us all. They're terrifying.
They're
they
crazy.
Shed their skin and leave them behind. I mean, it's just like, it's just like, geez.
You can eat them too.
It's a reminder that they should be feared. Yeah, we're here. We're here to stay. See you in 17 years.
Yeah.
So let's check the song out. This is Emergence, like the emergence, like they come out of the ground, right? And here we go.
Turn and face your reckoning, blackened in the fire, severed by the mandibles, emerging from below, choking on the refuse of the falling empire, a hollow husk left behind to remind you. We slept so long, you had your turn, destroyed our home, now you will burn. You scream and cry, you run.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Now You Will Burn.
Now You Will Burn.
Man, that is so creative.
How sinister.
Yeah, it's awesome.
These fucking cicadas are pissed.
This is my favorite tune they have. And to be honest, if you ever do this album again live, I must be in this band.
We should do it live.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. Have that
you.
guy come up and sing, what's his name?
Ryan. Oh, my
Wow.
goodness. So Ryan is an incredible singer. He just has that passion, the soul. He gets likened to Maynard from Tool sometimes, and he's a powerhouse.
Great tone. He's up there. Also the snare. Yeah. I just love the tone, man. I mean, it stands up against anything I've heard, and this is the stuff I grew up on. This kind of music, so I greatly appreciated it. Cool. And where are you going from there in your life?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What was going on after all this? You've established your creativity.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty good about it, right?
Yeah, I felt really good to get those projects done. They were big projects that took a lot of time.
But you were even doing something different than that. It wasn't just music.
Right? I had some like spoken word stuff. Not spoken word, like audio book. Not quite audiobook. How do I describe it? It was a audio adventure, I'll say. It was called Save the Child, and you are immersed. You're placed in the story.
It's called Save the Child.
It's called Save the Child.
Okay.
It's a video game, but there's only audio. So you're the main character, and you hear this agent talking to you, telling you, briefing you on the mission.
Okay.
I thought it'd be cool to tell a story. Because I heard a lot of audiobooks and story podcasts, but I hadn't heard something where you are the main character, and like hearing the sound effects pass by you, and like somebody telling you turn left here, turn right here,
right,
explore the elevator, and then weaving a story that way.
That's cool.
So
kind of interactive in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhat interactive.
That's
just trying to do different things. My MO has always been like, I don't like doing what everybody else is doing, even though I do fall into that trap.
Sure.
Like doing drum covers and stuff like that.
Well, you got to do that, I think, to connect with an audience.
Yeah.
But
then I like to immediately try to.
It's just like, but I do this.
Yeah.
Right? I think that doing that is smart. It helps pull people into your world. And also, even though you're doing covers, I think everybody does a cover different. There are those songs that you cannot cover, that no one can really ever do, like the artist that does them. But I would say, doing covers for people and drawing in an audience to the world of Fish, or any other artist, it's like, hey, I do this cover super well, and they connect with it, but then you show them a whole new catalog, and just open up your world. You have a whole catalog of stuff here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Building
that up.
And so, do we have a little bit of audio of this audio book?
No. So this one I don't have like here readily available, but
okay.
I could probably we could find a bit and add it in later.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to call the first part of your life chapter 1.
Okay.
That's Little Fish.
Little Fish.
Little fish in a big pond. That's who you were. And you got in chapter 2 is the band. MR, and all that. And this is chapter 3. After you come out of that, you've come into this third part, and you did something recently, and you're marketing yourself as Who is Fish.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I found you coming into Ithaca. You showed up here one day with my buddy Way.
Yeah, we had him on one of the shows.
Yeah, and Way is a crazy cat. He loves playing like talking drums, and he's just this really vivacious dude with really cool songs, and Fish is just sitting there with his chucks on, and I'm like, who is this guy? Literally, I'm saying, who is this guy? Little do I know he has a marketing campaign for his own artistry called Who is Fish.
Yeah.
And you did a song, and you're working on it right now.
Oh, are we talking about the big song?
This is the big song.
Yeah.
This is chapter 3. Yeah. This is chapter 3 of Who is a Fish of Sam Fishman. So talk about it. It's called Stuck in a Video.
Yeah, Stuck Inside a Video Game.
Stuck Inside a Video Game.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So this is kind of a cool story because this came out of COVID, actually, the time when everything was shut down. And I was at my parents' place just figuring out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's home, right? So I said to myself, you know what I've been wanting to do for over like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to play through Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Because I had not played through that game. And a bunch of my friends have, and they're like, dude, that game is epic.
So cool.
You've got to play that game. So finally, I'm like, all right, I have some time. I'm going to play through the game.
Okay.
So I think I played it on the Wii. Mm-hmm. So I was able to, download it or something. So I'm playing
the old Wii.
Yeah, like the old Wii. That one.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm playing that on that Wii, and I get to the water temple, the infamous water temple.
Okay.
Everybody's like, this temple's insane. There's no way you're gonna beat it without a guide.
Okay.
So I remember I had Link just standing in front of the entrance to this water temple. I'm like, this is it. This is the temple that everybody's been talking about, and I'm going to get through it.
Wow.
It was awesome.
You have, one thing I've noticed about you, I don't think you think negatively ever.
I do. It's just
don't
in
hide
here.
it. No, it's just,
I don't let it on.
It's incredible, though. You have an insatiable mind for creativity, but it's also paired with this positivity.
Well, thank you.
It's awesome.
I
do
my best.
So much so that you thought that you could take Link through the water temple with no help. So, I mean, that's pretty damn amazing.
I needed the help, though.
Did you? Okay.
After about 30 minutes.
There's a cry for help.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to map out on a piece of paper, like where all the rooms are, and like I'm going to retrace my steps.
Okay. Didn't happen.
So I'm playing this game, and I realized, like, okay, there's something here. Like, my brain was just like, I got to write a song about this. I got to do something. So I started writing Stuck Inside a Video Game, Let Me Explain, puzzles popping up, got me going insane, invading my brain. Nothing ever stays the same. This is what it feels like to be stuck inside a video. And I was trying to capture that feeling that I had, the strong feeling that like I was in this game. I was in this water temple and I had to get out. I was just stuck in there. I had to find my way out. So I wrote that. Didn't do anything with it for like 2 years. I moved up to, maybe it was a year. I moved up to Ithaca, revisited that stanza while playing, because COVID was still happening on a higher scale. And I was playing another Legend of Zelda game.
Okay.
And it made me remember that I had written this stanza a year ago. So I revisited it, and then I said, I got to make a song out of this.
Yeah.
I got to put a beat to it. And my friend Tom actually inspired me to continue on with the song as well, because I shared the stanza with him.
Okay.
So so I'm writing this tune, and then this was the moment. This was a big moment. I was doing
What year was this?
So this was last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year. I had moved to Ithaca. A year and a half ago, maybe. It's a little fuzzy. So
the pandemic was fuzzy.
Yeah.
Because my song that I wrote in the pandemic was stuck inside a Jack Daniels bottle.
Oh.
But, we want to talk about fuzzy. Anyway, keep going.
That'll be a clip.
I don't remember the lyrics, though.
Promo clip.
Yeah. I'll have to revisit that sometime.
So I'm writing.
Dave's shaking his head. Oh, my God.
So this was the moment.
Okay.
Big moment. And I said to myself, I need to make a music video for this song. If I release this song as audio only, it's not going to do anything. I have to make a video.
That's kind of true of a lot today. Yeah. Video components, man.
Video is, we talked about it with Euphoria and all that stuff.
Yep.
Got to get a video. So I was doing the Who is Fish. I flew out to LA and I said, I'm going to bank on myself here.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. And made the video, and it's coming
out in like
2 weeks.
Put together a production team and hired a marketing company.
Yeah.
Put together a killer website.
Now I'm broke.
Yeah. You're broke. You're stuck inside a bank loan.
Yeah. Pretty much. But it was worth it. I had to do it, and I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah. And you hired models.
We hired models.
You were a full-on producer director in this whole thing.
It was great. And like everybody was super professional about it. LA is a really good spot for getting this kind of thing done. The models are all beautiful. The actors were
and you dressed up like Link.
Dressed up like Link.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, yeah, and it'll be coming out soon. I'm stuck in the game.
You showed me a little tidbit of it, and I have to say, man, it is fine. It is awesome.
Yeah.
And you knew it was a rap tune when you wrote it.
Yeah, it was a rap tune with my own quirky rap style. Yeah,
cool. So can we play a little tidbit of that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Stuck inside a video game, let me explain. Puzzles popping up, got me going insane, invading my brain. Nothing ever stays the same. This is what it feels like to be stuck inside a video. Stuck inside a video game, let me explain. Puzzles popping up, got me going insane, invading my brain. Nothing ever stays the same. This is what it feels like to be stuck inside a video. Moblins all around me. God damn, they fucking found me. These woods create a maze. This big raccoon, he puts me in a haze with his magical spell. He just don't give a fuck. Messing up my quest puts me to the test. But I know that I can save the day, which is magic dust. Now I'm on my way.
Wow.
That's a little taste.
It's awesome.
It's quirky.
And there's a lot of green screen going on in this one, right?
Yeah, we actually did a blue screen for this one.
Blue.
Yeah, and that was a whole thing, a part of the hero's journey. It was just, it's post-production. Post-production's no joke.
It's a bitch.
I did not realize to the extent like blue screen, green screen. Man, you got to do every frame. And you've got a rotoscope and key, which
clean it up.
Still not quite sure, but it's like tracing of the.
It is,
right?
Yeah, you're framing, masking, you're doing all sorts of stuff.
Oh man,
and it's a lot of work. People don't realize that.
So
and
much work.
Good post production though, and a smoother process than that is good pre production and planning.
Yeah,
which you did.
We did.
A lot
we did
of the
the
planning.
But
the shots were all planned out, right?
It was, but it was still. It probably could. It was a learning experience, so probably could have been a little more planning. But for my first major, like I'm telling you, like for my first major production, it's pretty damn good.
Turned out well. Yeah. So when did they think the release?
I had a lot of help too. We're very grateful for the people that helped me with Light Drop and Roscoe and just great people.
Okay, so we're gonna close this up. Thank you for sharing this journey. It's not over yet.
No, it's hero's journey never stops.
No. And I do want to say something about your artistic health, which I think is a major theme here on this podcast. We want to help artists find that place of health and joy and what they're doing on this journey. And one way I know artists are healthy is when they're laughing or enjoying their own music. If you can do that, if you can enjoy your own music, I think you're in a good place.
Yeah.
You know, how artists tend to rip themselves apart, and that is an echo chamber you don't want to get stuck in. And I see Fish not doing that. I see him projecting and moving forward. There's something to be said about that positive thought thing, where you're moving forward in your creativity.
That's well said, man. It really can really change the game. And actually, and tying it back full circle to the band that I was in. Not when I finally had that realization that like I was not enjoying that music.
It was time to move on.
It was time to move on. And there's still that balance too, because it's like you gotta make money, right? And
right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we got to find that stinking balance.
Yeah.
So we're going to conclude. What are your thoughts on Ithaca now that you're here?
Just overall,
and the music scene. You are being recorded, so
yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
This is good. I mean, that's why we started this podcast, right?
Yeah.
So I'll try to split it up into sections here. So I've been very fortunate that after my first year and a half of being here, that I was able to connect with Driftwood and be the drummer for Driftwood.
Yeah.
That was a game changer, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. So that pushed me into the music scene full throttle,
right?
And being a working musician in this area. Also being hooked up with, I got connected with Maddie Walsh actually before Driftwood,
right?
And so like that was also a major piece of it. So I got together with Maddie, Driftwood. Now there's Gun Poets, a couple shows happening. So overall, I'd say I've noticed the music scene is very it is very supportive around here. It's very diverse. It's a lot of different groups. as is with any scene, there's definitely exclusivity.
Sure.
And I actually find with Ithaca, it's very secretive.
Yeah.
It's very secretive. People don't really want to tell you all of the secret spots that you can practice in, or all of the, they don't want to tell you.
It's hidden treasures.
It's hidden stuff, right? And they're like, can't give it away to too many people, right?
I got to be honest, I think that's a great thing. I think that creates value.
It's interesting. Yeah.
It creates value.
It kind of does. And I think that's what people realize too. It's like, so like you said, it creates value. And so, when you do get more entrenched in the scene, and then you start discovering like, oh man, like this is here too.
It's a big music world here.
Yeah.
It's big.
So
people think Nashville's the music town. I think that, of course, it's a music town. It's huge. Yeah. It's huge. It's been here forever.
There's major touring groups coming out of there.
Yeah. So is LA. So is New York City. So, Chicago. Ithaca could be one of those biggest music town experiences, and I think it's on its way.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I'm investing in Ithaca because I believe in the music here, and I believe in the people in the music scene here. And that is a big reason why we started this podcast, is because I think Ithaca needs to be discovered.
Yeah.
It needs to be discovered. And people like you and other artists, I think, are projecting that opportunity. So last thing.
Yeah.
This is the big question. What motivates Fish when he gets out of bed in the morning?
That's...
Because you're really productive.
Maybe. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I guess it's all relative, right? I'm trying to, so I've tended to operate on inspiration a lot, and that can be a dead end sometimes, because if you're waiting and waiting for that inspiration, you have to I think you have to set aside time every day. When I wake up in the morning, I need to have structure. I need to have something to look forward to. So like today was the podcast,
right? But
tomorrow it might be something else, and I need to decide what that's going to be like before I go to bed.
Okay.
So sort of finding that one thing to get excited about.
That's great.
I think that's the key.
Okay.
On days when I don't have anything planned, it can be kind of a wash. So I'm trying to avoid more of those days. Maybe it's a hike. So maybe it's like, I'm going to do like an hour and a half hike. And if that's the thing that
So you're doing something to just keep the motivation.
It's got to be, just one thing.
There has to be movement.
A music review. I just finished a music review for Anthony Cannon's new record.
Yeah.
But it's so just finding that one thing, I think, to get excited about.
That's a really great thing to do. And I think that's great advice for musicians out there and artists. I think it's easy for us to get discouraged and not see things like a hike or just simple things as that thing keeping you motivated. So that's good.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah. Well, Sam Fishman, thank you for being here today. I love being on the show with you. You're a wonderful co-host, and it was just a real treat to have you on this show as one of the artists that come through the doors. So thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was great to be here.
Right. So everybody check out Sam Fishman online. There's a lot there. Who is Fish is where you want to go. Whoisfish.com.
That's it. Yeah.
And again, get ready for Stuck in a Video Game, because it's going to be freaking amazing. And like I said, the video is awesome. Also, subscribe to this podcast. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please do so. And if you're on YouTube, you can check us out, because we're there at New Vine Records. It's under the channel on the top of the page for From the Vine. And you can subscribe there and catch this as well, because a lot of people watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, we got people tuning in.
Oh,
and also be sure to donate.
Yeah, we have people actually support us. We're a not-for-profit organization, believe it or not. This is not fat cats sitting around making money off artists, because that's not even happening anymore, at least on this level.
Yeah.
So we do look for people to support us. Please go to our website, newvinerecords.com, and make sure to donate. And anything that comes in there goes right to the artist and their projects, new artists. And finally, we have something called Off the Vine. And that is our annual festival that we have. And this year we have 13 bands. And guess who's headlining? the Gun Poets.
Oh man,
who's playing that?
Well, we'll have to see, but
some guy,
it's some
drummer. Anyway, so we're figuring that out. But please also go buy tickets for that because it's going to be an awesome evening with 13 bands, and you can even stay overnight. There's going to be vendors.
That's cool.
Lucky Hair Brewing and South Hill Cider are going to be there. So everybody have a great evening. Thank you so much for listening to Fish and I rant about the music.